if you were at Gen Con and you interacted with anyone from Ravensburger, if you interacted with any of the content creators out there and you didn't get insanely excited about the future of Lorcana, I don't know what to tell you, because I was there and it was incredible.
Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Dick Burns here has just returned back to us from Gen Con. And I wish I could have gone to Gen Con. I think it's really awesome that you were able to go. Gen Con, for anybody who doesn't know, is sort of this like premier, really just like board game tabletop convention, really, where you can kind of learn to play a bunch of different games and a bunch of different vendors, game design, either like game designers themselves or like game design companies kind of go out and showcase their games, similar to something like PAX Unplugged, if that's fair to say, just to kind of place us in the realm of what we were doing. So naturally, our very own Ravensburger was there premiering some stuff with Disney Lorcana, and our super uber famous Mr. Burns here actually did get an exclusive invite to a Ravensburger, content creator meetup. So we'll talk more about that. But I think this video, we kind of just want to talk about one, the Gen Con experience. But I obviously wasn't there. And so for someone like me who's never been to a Gen Con, who may be watching this video, or, wants to go, but, only really plays Lorcana, hasn't really immersed themselves too much farther in different kinds of board games or TCGs. I think we just kind of want to talk about what that experience is like, if it's worth it, if you only go for Lorcana, which like many of us watching this video may be in that boat where it's like, well, I want to go because I think it's cool to get like, like the promos and the play mats, right? Like that's kind of where those like Gen Con exclusive things come from. But yeah, we're going to talk about if it's actually worth it, and maybe there's other things to do outside of Lorcana as well. So tell us about your weekend. I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. For those that don't know Gen Con, there's 60,000 people there throughout the weekend.
That's insane.
It's the entire Indianapolis Convention Center plus Lucas Oil Field. All right. And I sent you a photo. I walked into Lucas Oil Field one day and like, this is way too much. And I walked right back out. But yeah, the convention literally spans multiple blocks of the city, because between the field and the convention center is also like 50 food from all over Indiana that converge there for 60,000 customers. It is insane. And if you like gaming whatsoever, aside from Spiel in Germany, this is the premier convention for that. So you got to be there.
Awesome. Really, really cool. So I'm sure there's plenty of other Lorcana related things to do at Gen Con. Obviously, like you said, there's so many different, different types of games represented there. But talk to us a little bit about Lorcana. Obviously, that's what we all know and love. What were some of the things that you were able to do there?
Yeah, so they premiered Collection Quest. Okay.
Oh, that's amazing.
The what?
That's amazing. I didn't know they did that.
Oh, that's amazing. I thought you said the space thing.
No.
No, we're not in outer space yet. We got to take over the world first.
Right.
This year, Disney Lorcana is going global. We'll shoot for the moon next year. But all joking aside, yeah. So Collection Quest, pretty chill, pretty cool. Maybe you can insert at some point a video that I sent you. All right, we're doing the Collector's Quest, and I'm gonna do it with nothing. Let's see how famous I really am.
A few moments later.
We're good? Alright guys, I'm done. Here's my packs. Thank you all. Love you all. I know, I'm the most famous, I'm the most glamorous. I appreciate everyone here. I'll see y'all later. Collection Quest is basically you're handed 3 booster packs and then you're handed a sheet with 6 cards, and the cards will have a theme. At least they did this time. I know they're still working on it. Especially when you have terrible people like me breaking it, which we'll go over that. But they're still working on it. I ended up doing 3 of them, and one was themed around Frozen. One was themed around Aladdin, stuff like that. So one was themed around. So you'll have 6 commons or uncommons, maybe 1 rare. Or you can go for this super special, really difficult collection quest. There's no additional prizes, but it's like all rares and super rares that you have to find. if you want to challenge yourself. And there was a limited number per event. And it depended on which one you signed up for. I think there's varying price points. But if you were only doing this for the money, you're basically getting 3 packs plus 2 promos that are worth like $20 each or $19. So it's great for the people that are for some reason grinding a social event, which you absolutely should use your time differently, in my opinion. And then you're in the collection quest for an hour if you want to be. You could always leave. Obviously, they don't like chain the doors or anything.
Right.
But it's a great way for you to just like walk up and meet people. Because like, how weird is it just like walking up to a stranger in 2025 and just being like, "Hi,
Yeah.
my name is Willoughby's." That doesn't
I, like,
happen. What?
seemingly have no reason to talk to you. I was actually gonna note,
Right.
like, I think that that's the perfect. I know we joke about like, you know, when things go bad, they're like, okay, free pack rush at your store. Like, I know we joke about that, but I actually think, you know, in this environment, exactly like you said, I think that's the perfect kind of like activity that kind of like helps people get to know each other and like socialize a little bit, that still relates to the game, but maybe isn't as like grindy as like, you know, trying to go 3-0 for a playmat. And I think that's something that like people who are just maybe considering picking up Lorcana or just started playing or are new to TCGs, it's a less intimidating way for them to engage with the game and start getting familiar with the cards without actually sitting down to play. So that sounds like a good time.
Yeah, so you know me. Here's a good time to play the video. Boom. All right, great video. So I'm big time celebrity, right? Everyone knows Dick. I'm the best in the world, whatever. So I walked in and I wanted to challenge myself to not open my booster packs. Okay. And still complete my quest. So I went ahead, I had Melissa, I went in there because Melissa and Ben were doing it and it's a social thing and I want to have fun with my friends.
Yeah, for sure.
So I had Melissa record me. I put the booster packs away, and then I was basically just like, "Yo, everyone, Dick Burns here. You know me. I'm the most famous guy in all Lorcana. I need this 6 cards. Please help me." And people walked over and handed me the cards that I needed. I completed the quest
You
in 30
guys
seconds.
gotta stop doing this. The ego is getting too big, guys. Please, we gotta humble him.
Yeah, I keep hearing that in the comment section. It's funny. It's so funny because then when people meet me in real life, they're like, "You act nothing like on the internet." I'm
Yeah,
like,
they're like, wait, it was all an
"No."
act. You're not actually mean. We're like, yeah.
Yeah. So I walk over, I got my cards. I gave everyone their cards back. They're all commons, uncommons, but obviously if I had that collection quest and there's 50 of us in a room, so did other people. There weren't 50 individual ones. So this is kind of where I broke it, okay? Because I got to do this with the content creators first, and I like all the content creators pretty much know each other, so there was none of that awkwardness and stuff like that. And I wasn't in a big rush to fill mine. I was actually walking around the room just handing cards to people, like, "Oh, Bernard's on yours." Like, Elaine opened her packs next to me. I think I gave her half of her sheet. And she's like, "Oh, do you need?" I was like, "I don't need anything." Got up, walked to a different table. But I realized that you got the cards back instead of trading them into Ravensburger to get the promos, which I think would be reasonable considering you're trading 6 common for basically $40,
Right.
But you got the cards back, so you could then just find someone with the same sheet as and just be like, "Hey, you got your promo already? Take these," and just keep passing them around the room.
Oh my god. This is how you never get invited back, folks.
Actually, I'm not gonna say who said it, but somebody said, "That's excellent feedback. We didn't really consider that, and we have no way of preventing it." But I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it needs to be prevented.
Yeah,
I
it's no big
did
deal. I'm sure they have plenty of promos.
right. I mean, they expect to give out all the promos. I have a strong feeling if you did not complete your common collection quests within the hour, they will just be like, "Thank you so much for being here."
Here's a
like,
promo.
here's I don't think it's advertised that way, so you can sue me if that doesn't work out for you, but yeah, so it was really fun because I did the whole like I'm not opening my packs just to make a YouTube video out of it,
Sure, sure.
and some people thought that it was funny in the room. I'm sure there were people that thought I was annoying that like didn't know me, but whatever. Yeah. And then after I turned it in, I just walked around the room and talked to people. Like I still wanted to socialize with everyone. So if you're like trying to gain some and then just like run out the door, that I think that's a rough one.
Yeah.
Like the whole point is to make friends and stuff like that. And there were people that were in that room. They ended up seeing the play area later too. So
Yeah.
I feel like even though I didn't, go by exactly what they wanted, I don't know how many times we say make Disney Lorcana what you want it to be. Like engage in the community how you want to engage in the community. And how I like to engage in the community is being the center of it. Someone from Ravensburg actually said that to me one day. He'd never met me before. He just looks at me and goes, "You like being the center of attention, don't you?" I was like, "You know me so well. I appreciate it." And no joke, the whole weekend, every time I saw him, he also got a Steel shirt, just like me. I would walk by him, he'd go, "Steel Brothers!" Like, I was
awesome.
so thrilled to see him the whole rest of the weekend. I had never met him.
That's
So
awesome.
that was awesome. But yeah, so collection quests, I think, were a home run.
Nice. I'm
Uh,
curious about, I
yeah.
know you mentioned, that there was some like creator events as well. Obviously, I'm sure part of that is not public. Is there anything for anybody that's curious about like what the creators got to do that you think you can share?
We did get to eat.
Oh, great.
Let's see if anyone can guess what I sent you a photo
Okay.
of me holding a tray.
Okay. I do
You
see it
know
now.
I
You
gotta
look
get
very
Max.
happy.
You know I gotta get Max EV, right? I think we just had a video about how important EV is.
Yes, yes.
But no, all joking aside, I was just like, you know me, I like being the center of attention. So I'm just like, yo, who's taking all this food home? My wife's in the car. I if you can guess the food that's in there, I'll send you a Bic coin.
Oh,
All
there you
right.
go. Comment down below what you think the food was that they were serving.
Yeah, but hopefully I don't accidentally say it. But it was awesome. I do have to bring up one food later. It wasn't, but
Okay.
anyway, yeah. So yeah, we all got to just like sit down and have kind of like a meet and greet with each other, which most of us knew each other. There were a couple of people who were like Disney creators and not Disney Lorcana creators,
Mm-hmm.
and I got to meet most of them. I tried to, especially with like exchanging cards. Again,
Awesome.
so we got to do a collection quest. And I thought we're all on the same page, okay? And it's just like, hey, we're all content creators. We were all invited here. This was free. Here, take this card. Take this card. No, I don't need this 5-cent common back. Like, congratulations. Get your Pluto, right? But no, one of these content creators who is not, I'm not going to name him.
Oh.
One of these content creators who was not a Disney Lorcana content creator, I yelled out, "Hey, does anyone have this card?" Right? At this point, I'd given more than half my card, and they say, "Yeah, I have that card." So I walk over and I was like, "Awesome, thanks." And they're like, "Well, what do you have from my sheet?" And I'm like, let me look." Nothing. And they're like, "Oh, sorry." Not only that, I subscribed to them from before Disney Lorcana came out. Okay. So I go, "Hey, I love your channel." And I say the channel. And they go, "Oh my God, thank you so much." And shook my hand. I still didn't get the card. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if someone came up to you? Okay, let's say you're at a DLC and someone's like, "Does anyone have a Mr. Smee?" Okay. We'll go even harder. Well, does anyone have a Be Prepared? And you're like, "Yeah, I have a Be Prepared." And you go, "Do you have anything to trade?" And they go, "No, sorry." For one, you'd probably just give it to them. for 2, even if you didn't, if they were like, "Oh my god, are you Willoughby's from the Lore Chronicle?" You'd be like, "Here's a playset. I'll sign that. Do you want me to sign
I was
that?"
gonna say you even tried glazing them and it didn't work.
Oh my! I couldn't believe it.
See, and we need more of that, people. We need to humble this guy. He needs to know that he can't get any.
That was so rude. I thought that was so rude.
Wow, well, there you go. A little bit of Lore Chronicles tea for the Lore Chronicles fam. Go find that YouTuber. Just kidding. I'm joking. Leave them alone.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good.
All in good fun.
We have our tight knit community here. All right. But anyway, yeah. So we just
a
did
little
a little
cutthroat
meet
at the content creator. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
yeah, as if there was a first place prize.
Right.
But yeah. So then, I'd given away most of my cards. Eric Switzer was there, the gamer. He wrote about it on his website and everything.
If you're on Lorcana Twitter, you've seen Eric Switzer's tweets, basically. Yeah.
Hopefully. And he gave away all of his cards.
Aww.
Okay. Like when he completed his, he just like walked to people and was like, "Do you guys just want these cards? Because we're done, right?" Wrong. They were like, "Hey, that went faster than like, it could have. Let's do another one." And you're not getting new booster packs. So Eric has 0 cards, and he has to complete the quest. So he's basically doing what I did for the other one.
Right.
And meanwhile, I also, out of the 3 booster packs, had like a booster pack's worth of cards left.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm like, I look at my sheet. I go, okay, I'm cooked, because they gave us the hard sheets at this point.
Ooh.
So it wasn't even like we would have the commons, uncommons. I needed Rhino, Shift. I needed Shift Rhino. Like I needed multiple rares.
Rhino's
okay?
only going up, and he's worth a couple bucks. Okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that one vlogger. I knew I wasn't getting it from that
I was
person.
say, good luck getting it from that guy.
That's for sure. If I wasn't getting the 5-cent rare. Oof. Yeah, so I
don't
then
even know
stood
who it
up.
is, by the way. For the people watching, he
Right,
did not tell me.
I didn't tell. Yeah,
So
I didn't
don't
tell.
even know who we're talking about.
Right. What's it called? I looked around the room. I was like, who has Bolt? Yeah. I found all the people at Bolt. Just my luck. One of them's Katie.
Oh.
Right. If I could find a more anxious person, I'd win a prize. Okay. I find the one person who I've never met before. They are a Disney creator as well, right? If they're not a Disney creator, they're a board game creator, and I'd never met them. And I talked to them. I was like, "Hey, we got the same quest. We're quest buddies." And I was like, "Hey, here's the deal. We are going to find everyone that has this quest, and we're all going to work together. I'm going to use all of your booster packs, and we're going to trade with other people. Okay?" And he's like, "Genius. Let's do it." Quest bros. Unfortunately, the other person was Katie. And when I explained to Katie, she's like, what? No, that's against the rules. No. I'm like, Katie, show me the rules. Okay. Eventually, I bullied her. I absolutely bullied her. You know why I bullied her? Because I'm just kidding. It's because she's my friend. So I was able to just be like, Katie, listen, this is the only way we're doing this. There's not this many bolts in the room. And then she's like, but I wanted to be the best. I'm like, you are going to be the best. I had to like, it was like when a whole school, like a whole class gets off a bus and the chaperone has to like guide them. I'm guiding Katie, like, trust me, just go ahead, go up to the line. Here's the card. Between her and the other person and a few trades, we had all 6 trades. And she didn't feel good about it, but guess what? She got it done. Also, Katie made my car. She made my sticker collection on my car. So that now.
Yeah, I'll show that. So
I'll be advertising her, to the whole country. All right. I'm sure people will Google the LKI. I have not Googled that. You Google that before editing this. If it's something bad, omit that I said that. Yeah.
All right, so that's the collector's quest. Any other highlights for you?
I just want to say, obviously, that accomplish its goal. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Katie was recording during it, and she's like, Dick Burns is making me be bad. Like, she's like, I see why he's bad for the brand, you know? So, like, we got stories out of the, like, that is what we remember. We won't remember that we got a
Right.
we'll remember, like, the fun interactions like that. And I
Yeah.
think that Ravensburger absolutely nailed it with that. And yeah, that was basically the whole meeting. It was all so many people that I had not met before. I did suggest to Elaine that we should have dual decks, which would, for those that don't play Magic, it'll be like one franchise versus another. And they come in a, instead of a starter deck, it's 2 starter decks, and they're specifically geared to be like pretty decent decks. So if that ever comes in the future, I told her, hey, I want to pitch this idea to you. Don't respond because I know you can't. It's a Bruno question. Yeah, so she gave me nothing. That was the face I got when I pitched it to her. I was like, and just so you know, if you ever do create this product, I'm going to talk about it this week. So I'll go ahead and all thanks to me. All right. I also told her I was the leader of the Disney Lorcana Players Union, and that I'm a good go between the company and what the people want. And sometimes not what they want, but maybe what they need. And she was like, well, I appreciate your work.
I think that's pretty fair though, actually. Like, I genuinely think this channel is like where we kind of like bridge that gap between like what everybody's saying versus what's the like rational take, and then you come in as somebody who's like owned several businesses and worked in like Cards Forever and being like, well, here's what they can actually do. So it's actually fair.
Dual decks just makes sense for me.
Yeah.
You could be like Snow White and her dwarves versus Winnie the Pooh and like all of the honey people, stuff like that.
I'd love to
But
see that.
yeah, that was awesome. Let's go back a little.
Sure.
Because there was a panel. And that was the very first thing, okay? And I did not have a ticket to it. And I actually had a ticket to do a collector quest for chapter 1. I was like, well, if I'm going to be really sad that I'm missing this panel, I might as well, crack some boosties of the first chapter. And then I realized I would probably cry as I'm boosty because I'm so sad I was missing the panel. So I went ahead and refunded that collector quest, and I was determined to get into that panel. All right. I didn't care if I had to crawl through the ceiling. Not that I could scale even a 3-foot ladder. But my gosh, I'll try, you know. Instead, what I did was said, all right, no one took me up on that.
Nobody was biting for the $20.
Fortunately, friend of TFM. I have no idea if I should say who it is, so I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
They know who they are, and I appreciate them so much. I'll put in. They had an extra ticket, got me in. I was so happy. I had been saying for months they're going to have a Q&A. Okay, Dan has been disagreeing with me. And I'm like, it's a convention. They have to have a Q&A.
Naturally.
Let's also talk about this. They talked about a few sets ahead, right? I've mentioned this before. That's what you do at conventions, all right? So, like, that's the whole point. You have all the eyes on you, and you tell people what is happening until, like, the next convention, right? So they showed, like, 2 or 3 sets ahead, which is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get people excited. It's a convention, okay? So all the people that are online saying like, wow, look at them showing off what they're doing for the next 5 years to try to overshadow some bad stuff. No. You just don't understand the business whatsoever. This is the business, okay?
And for anybody who might be saying that, this is a good thing. The more communication, the more showing off, the more saying, look how far ahead we've planned, look what's to come, is a good thing.
Yeah. Speaking of communication, the director of communication is there. That's Greg. Okay?
Perfect.
Greg, for those that don't know, every single Thursday you have to go to the and you have to say his name. Okay? That is just a thing. At some point there will be merch that says say his name, Greg. It's happening. Okay? So I knew there was going to be a Q&A. I knew Greg was going to be running it. I knew I had to provide the cues. All right. I I waited. I bided my time. All right. I was Maleficent with her staff. I was a little one, right? But then guess what? Floodborn Maleficent came, and I ran up there as soon as they said, "Hey, we're gonna do." Unfortunately, they were not live streaming it, so they said we had to say our name, say where we were from, and then ask our question. Well, I wanted Greg to say my name. Been begging the guy for 2 months now, and by begging, I mean cyberbullying. So I'm like, okay, how am I gonna say my name? So I walked up. I was like last in line, even though I jumped out because everyone wanted to talk to me. They're like, "Oh my god, it's gonna happen! He's gonna say it, dude. Don't do it! Don't do it! You're cooked." Someone, I'm not gonna say who, grabbed me by the wrist and was like, "Don't do it! Don't do it! You're gonna get in trouble." I'm like, "How am I gonna get in trouble? It's not even being
It's
streamed,
not even live.
and we weren't allowed to record. How am I gonna get in trouble? You know, that makes no sense." So I get up to the DB TFM here, descending all the way from the Forbidden Mountain. I was like, I just got one question. It's Thursday, Greg. You gonna say my name? 200 people in the room. Decent amount of cheers. Pretty happy.
Nice.
At this, I should mention, my adrenaline was pumping before walking up to that microphone. Okay, I love being the center of attention, but you know what I hate? Embarrassment
Yep.
that I didn't put myself into. I will embarrass myself on purpose to make people laugh, and I know I'm going to do it, and I'm totally chill with it. I knew I was going to ask him this. I knew there was a decent shot he was not going to say my name. He was going to say something. So I knew I would have to do what I ended up doing, and I was very worried that I would get crickets.
Yeah.
If that happened, I would have had to walk out of that room, walk to my car, drive to North Carolina, and sell every Disney. Because how could I ever show my face again? I've been building this up for 2 months. How could I ever show my face again in the community if I failed? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of stakes. All right. As far as stakes go, I was a prime ribeye. All right. So I get up there, people cheer. He thinks he's funny. He's not that funny. And he goes, "What's your name?" So I turn to the crowd, put my arms up. I go, "What's my name?" I don't know how many people yelled it, but thank you to everyone who did yell it. A bunch of people yelled Dick Burns.
Nice.
And my gosh, that felt good. That felt the best, in fact.
That's
Not
what we
just
do it
good.
for, folks.
Yeah. It was awesome. I went back, I sat down, security didn't escort me out.
Whew.
It was a win. Right.
So we'll see at the next DLC. You haven't been banned from play.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to be in that panel so bad. I love Disney Lorcana more than my own children. So it's like I had to be there, you know. And I knew I was going to get that opportunity. I knew like people at Ravensburger were going to be able to put a face to the Thursday cyberbullying, stuff like that. And then at I come out of the room. The meetup was that night. Between the room and that night, people that weren't at Gen Con were messaging me saying, "I heard what happened at the panel. That's awesome." Or, "Have you seen Greg since? Did he say your name?" I've given everyone the same exact answer. I cannot confirm or deny if he has said my name at all over the course of the Gen Con time. I'm under NDA whether he's said my name or not, so
okay.
I can't answer that question.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, apologies. I tried my best, you know.
No exclusive here.
But anyway, it was awesome. I don't think he knew. Like, a lot of people commented on Thursdays in live streams. I don't think he knew how big. Until God, and we're going so deep. I'm sorry, guys. This is such a long 1.25 speed. Willoughby's 1.25 speed. Let me speed run some stuff. All right,
Sure.
That'll help, and then we'll ask questions at the end because you at that, like, you know exactly what people.
Thank you.
Actually a skill. So I commentated the ICL lab, and I asked Garrick and JDZ, "Do you cramp some breadsticks?" I thought there's no way they would do spaghetti. I would do that with like any content creator. I promise you I would do that. And they said, yes, I would. Guess what? In person, they said, no, no, no. And I said, liar, liar, liar. So I went to Walmart and bought the biggest baguette I could possibly find and was like, all right, guys, we got 3. JDZ still said no, but he was live streaming. It was like, ask your chat what. And it ended up happening. And Judge Phil also got in on the combine, was able to catch that. Garrick's face was phenomenal. His eye, like, the man could talk with his eyes. He's hilarious. I'd hung out with Garrick before. I've glazed him in the past. His work is fantastic. He's a great human. This is my first time seeing JD's in person. If you are going to something like Gen Con and you know that they're going to have like these panels, that if one of your goals is like hang out with people that you see on YouTube, you should probably attend these things. We were all there all weekend, just hanging out with people. I signed tons of photos with people, everything that I love to do. I said I would talk about Lucas Oil Stadium again. You can throw that photo in here. I had 2 events scheduled. I didn't know they were in Lucas. I went over there, and I would have been there for 9 hours one. I would have been doing things that I thought was really fun. Like I specifically signed up and played in these events. When I realized I was going to be that far away from players for, I decided to forego playing in those events, and I literally went and sat in the area and just like played games with people and talked to people and stuff like that. I got much more fulfillment out of being around the community than like playing the games that I went to Gen Con to play.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Even if you go just for Disney Lorcana, you should try all the games. Any game that hasn't learned to play, you should try it. Worst case scenario, you get a promo that you can sell if you hate it.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, you find something fun to do with your friends that's not just Disney Lorcana. I had a great conversation with 2 people about burnout in the game. I'm not going to say who it was about. Anytime you have a conversation with me, it's not going to end up on the internet, like put you on blast or anything. And I gave them best advice I could. That'll be a whole different video.
Yeah.
But they really appreciated that, and this was outside. I was walking to my car. Like this is like me and my wife time, and I was still over the moon happy that they would ask me and would like me to my car and talk.
Yeah.
I was thrilled. Speaking of private conversations, I had dinner with Kim, right? We could put up a photo of Kim. And she gave me permission, specifically told me to include this photo and explain it. How I saved her from food, and I also like was just like giving her like the best time, like walk her out to dinner. Liz was with me, my wife, and we were talking about this time that my daughter was attacked by chickens. Like it's just something that came up, and she was like, oh my god, I was attacked by chickens. And I looked at her like, and she wasn't picking up what I was putting down. And then I went, Kim, you should have looked me dead in the eyes and said, Papa. That's the reaction she had to me saying that. Everyone at the table could not breathe. We were at like this really expensive steakhouse. Like me and Liz's food was like $200, and we are dying laughing. I know we were obnoxiously loud. I'm so sorry. Although it was all Gen Con people, so it didn't really matter. Everyone, all restaurants in the area of Gen Con specials. We like by the end of the dinner, the waiter goes, Dick Burns, is a pleasure to meet you.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, do you play Disney Lorcana? He goes, no, I've heard about you, like, just in this restaurant, like, at night. Like, I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So, that was awesome. I may have saved Kim's life. She ordered a pork chop. We all, most of us ordered a steak. She ordered a pork chop. And I saw Liz's face, and it was, So then I looked at the pork chop, and then Kim saw Liz's face and, okay, I'm not the only person that thinks this is weird. And Liz was like, Dick's a trained chef, show it to him. This pork chop was raw.
Oh no.
It was. I'm fine. I am fine with a pork not cooked to well done.
Sure.
Okay. I know, especially if like your grandparents or your parents taught you a certain way. It's not the 20s. It's not the 30s anymore. Pork that's not well done. Don't sue me. That's not legal. But don't eat pork. Cook it to 180. Okay. No, but the waiter came over and we are like, hey, check out this pork chop. And then he's like looking at it, he's like, oh well, some people eat it like that. And then I go, okay, he's like, well, how would you like it cooked? And they all look at me and I go, we'd like it cooked to at least one. And then it was serious mode. Like in a restaurant, when you like if you order something medium, they're just like, they don't know what's medium and what's not. Whatever, just send it.
Yeah.
You order by temperature, they're like, oh god, we gotta do it correct. You know. So they brought it back perfect. He showed it to the manager. The manager came over and looked at him and was like, I am so sorry. That was actually, he's like, I've seen some stuff. That was so beyond, not right at all. He's like, you guys have free desserts. I am so sorry. So yeah.
Enchanted Kim lives to see another day.
Yeah, it was a great time. It was such a good time. It was so good to see her again. But yeah, what else do I have here? First chapter Trove. People got there at 3 a.m. Okay, I know some of the people that got there. I walked in at 8 a.m. with my wife. I had no intentions of being in that line for 2 hours. So I walked in, I made a Dick Burns joke, and I walked out. I left my wife there because I'm a terrible husband. No, but I walked in and I was like, hey, is there a celebrity line?
Oh my god. This guy. He's got to be stopped.
No one said anything. I went, I guess not. All right, I'll see you guys later. Yeah, but obviously I'm joking. The person that got there at 3 a.m. was 67 people in front of. Probably wasn't worth the 3 a.m., but you live, you learn, you get loves. And you probably needed loves if you got there at 3 a.m. and you couldn't get out of line until 10 something. I got to play in one event. No one else wanted to play in it, and the ticket could not be refunded anymore. So I ended up getting passed into my hands, and I lost to a child, a little brat, really. And his name was Luke. It was actually a great time. I take pride in like being a good example because he's from North Carolina, where I was born and raised, and he's a really good kid. Obviously, I'm just playing around, and yeah, he cooked me. And then right after him, I lost to an 8. That was awesome. That made it worthwhile playing in the event because he was so happy, and he was seated next to his mom who was playing in the event, and then his dad was at table 1. So that family is cooking. That is awesome. The kid super competent. I've never been more happy for my opponent. Daisy, turn 2 Maleficent Lilo, turn 3 Lady Daisy.
Wow.
When they won viral. Yeah, so I was thrilled. Honestly, I was really happy for him, and he was super happy. And he opened an Enchanted in a prize pack, and like, what more do you want from a Disney trading card game at a convention? Honestly,
I love those moments when it's like for the whole family, and the kids there to play. It doesn't matter what form the deck takes. Like, it doesn't have to be a super complicated, like, I don't know, like Sapphire inking dime for the game. It can be as simple as just playing out those low cost characters. If that's what gets more people playing and that's the barrier to entry for younger players, I think it's really cool. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I think we've said it multiple times. Play to your strengths.
Yeah.
Like, build a deck that you're comfortable with, have some amount of success. 2-1 got him a Rapunzel and some boosties.
Awesome.
So yeah, we'll talk about Riftbound on another video. That'll leave a little.
Dun, dun, dun.
But other than that, yeah, I think that was everything. I play tested a ton of.
Yeah.
Like, you could probably upload some photos here. I also just like went and did fun stuff. I did speed sleeving. 40 cards. I did like a minute 20. I was really disappointed. The record was 58 seconds.
Oh wow. That's pretty cool.
I signed a baguette.
that was then promptly taken a bite out of, perhaps.
Oh my god, there were mimes. There were so many people dressed like mimes, and one of them walked behind me, saw my baguettes, went. It was so cool. It was awesome. If you're into cosplay, you can do it. Like, it's awesome. There were people building towers and towers of houses of cards. That's a thing that happens every year.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Gen Con since 2008. Even though I can afford to rip money in half now, I grew up very poor. So like in 2008, I won an all expenses paid trip to Gen Con as part of the tournament.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What's it called? I met Judge Ellie for the first time in person. She has been the judge for 90% of my ICL matches, which is a lot of matches. So it was awesome to meet her. I met her. I think this was the first time I interacted with Judge Phil in person. Like, he's always in the ICL. Yeah. It was so cool being back with the community again. It was awesome. I can't wait to get to DLCs. Yeah, like I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it was an amazing weekend. Obviously it's great. You know, like you said, first thing was like that panel, and they opened with talking about the future. But I think really the biggest takeaway is like, even outside of the actual official, you know, Ravensburger news, and even like outside of the content creator thing, is like really just being in a space where you were able to connect with the community and other like-minded players, which I think is really special. And I think for me, and probably for some other players right now, we're kind of at this weird place in Lorcana, you know, where like we've got like a 5-week set champs, but the format's kind of null and void, you know, because rotations happening. So you know, for some people, you know, depending on what reprints happen, a lot of these decks don't really matter, right? It's almost like a dead meta, so to speak, you know, because we play it for these few weeks and then it's on to the next one. And I know a lot of people have been feeling like, not even like fatigue, but just kind of like, okay, I'm kind of twiddling my thumbs, right, waiting for Fabled to drop. And I think this is just like a really great example of like, sure, you know, you could play at set champs, but you know, for the people that's not really like doing it for them because they know the reprints are on the corner, like we say all the time, going out there and being around the community in this way, right? Something like an event where you were able to meet a bunch of people, and even doing something as simple as like, you know, going on the hunt for 6 commons or uncommons, like you say, 5-cent cards, was just a way to really like liven Lorcana back up a bit, and just like get you talking to players, get you reminded of why the game is so great and like why we love it. And so yeah.
Okay. So sorry.
No.
Okay. They had first chapter sealed, and one of the members of Rules of Villainy, friend of ours, opened and enchanted.
Oh, that's awesome.
And like she didn't like yell out right away, but then like the other Rules Villainy person said something, and I happened to be standing there and this was like right when I got back from Lucas Oil. This is like exactly why I didn't want to be at Lucas Oil Stadium all day. I'm like, what happened? And she's like, I got enchanted. I yelled, hey, everyone, we got enchanted over here. Everyone stopped their games and clapped.
Aww.
Everyone in the tournament area. And then someone immediately opened an enchanted Elsa.
That's awesome.
Like, that is exactly the Disney Lorcana community.
Yeah.
Right. So that was awesome. I can't believe I didn't write that down.
Yeah,
sorry.
That's awesome. No worries. I think that just like, it just hammers home what I was trying to say, is just like, I guess for anybody who's wondering, should I go to Gen Con next year? It sounds like the answer is a resounding yes.
Yes. Actually, you know how you like to put little clips in the front?
Yeah.
Let's put this in the front. You can also leave it in the end because people realize where it came from if they watch the whole video. If you were at Gen Con and you interacted with anyone from Ravensburger, if you interacted with any of the content creators out there, and you didn't get insanely excited about the future of Lorcana, I don't know what to tell you, because I was there and it was incredible. Also, look what I have. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
This is signed.
Oh, it is signed. Who's it signed by?
Greg Tito.
Oh.
I wore my Bruno outfit since he can't say my name, and I asked him to booster pack for me.
You should have told him to make it out to Dick Burns.
I said, can you make it too redacted? But I don't think he can spell redacted.
Oh, okay.
He's a published author. But yeah, if anyone wants to buy this, 1,000.
Oh, boop. There you go. Yeah, we'll link the eBay. Yeah, so obviously Gen Con, incredibly worth it. It sounds like definitely make plans if you haven't already to go next year. And I think the biggest thing is like, yes, technically you can make money off of Gen Con if you really want to. But it seems like it's definitely more fun to kind of not just grind, whatever promos you can from all these different games and instead go for the things you care about.
I'm just going to casually show these.
Yeah, you got to send those to me. I'll link you my address.
Yeah, only $1,000. I need to get this sticker off of here somehow and put it on. Proof I didn't steal this stuff.
Maybe Greg wrote that, and so by proxy, he said your name.
Shout out to Matified. I got one of these beauties.
What?
It's a prototype.
Okay, you actually got to send me that one.
It's a prototype. It's not in production yet.
Let me keep it warm for you.
When you are a big time celebrity, you get the endorsements. That's how it is. I also have an amethyst shirt. It's in some of the photos.
Okay, so sounds like that one you can send to me.
The amethyst one?
Yeah, because you're wearing a steel one.
I don't know, man. We're the amethyst steel team.
Okay,
TFM.
Everybody comment below that Dick has to give me something from Gen Con, guys. Come on.
Here's what we need to get. We need to get Will of these at PAX Unplugged in December. That's what
Willow to PAX. That's a good idea. Well, maybe I'll go to PAX. Maybe you've convinced me. All right. Is there anything else you want to say to the people at home?
Anyone that I interacted with, I'm not going to name anyone else in particular just because people feel left out. Just like how Garrick didn't mention me in his video, and I don't feel bad about it at all, even though he was like, I had such a great time hanging out with you. You're so handsome. Everyone I interacted with, thank you so much, because it was awesome. And I think people found it funny, the difference between when I knew I was on camera and when I was just chill.
Awesome. Well, there you have it, folks. Gen Con is 100% worth it. We hope to see you there next year because I will try to go next year. Maybe we'll see you at PAX Unplugged. But before PAX Unplugged, we'll definitely see you at DLC Milwaukee. There's plenty of things that we've got to chat about. So definitely more videos coming soon. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Please don't forget to like the video. It helps us out a ton. And of course, press the subscribe button. We're on our way to 500 subscribers. Okay. I had to do it. We're done now. All right. Thanks, guys.